Hi teacher, this is my project final, the Mexican food. All about Mexican cuisine. Going a place goes below the postcard photo, capturing the light by the most characteristics of a country, including sculpture, the flowers in the campaigns, and the emotions in arouses. Mexican food is a distinctive mark that contributes to raising the flag on the Aztec country. The traditional Mexican season is the greatest pride of the inhabitants. Mexican cuisine is one of the internationally acclaimed reference points as one of the most colorful cuisines with flowers as livery of some sense in the Yucatan Peninsula, from region to region. Um, Mexico is a country with an ideal climatic diversity, finding cold temperatures in the most mountainous areas and temperatures around the coast. The perfect contrast of of two climates makes Mexico the ideal paradise of coursing, where the diversity of products enrich in quality. Uh, what is why? According to the region is being discussed, Mexican cuisine with tend to vary to its immensity of predominant ingredients in each region, which diversity of the most outstanding uh, chapters of American or traditional Mexican cuisine. Um, is this why, although is the same geographical space, uh, mm, Mexico encompasses a multitude of agricultural activities, culinary techniques, customs, and even ritual practices typical of each region that are finally expressed in Mexican cuisine. This is how Mexican food becomes a feast of colors, flowers, and textures that at the end of the day from a world belong and historicity. Influence Mexico's science its original includes a series of influencers that to a greater or lesser extent have had wonderful impact on Mexican food. Mexico gastronomy has been influenced by other cultures, such as the Spanish, the French, and the African, uh, which which have brought relevant uh, touch to traditional Mexican cuisine through colonial times. Similarly, Mexican food always much of its wonderful aromas and flowers to the deep rooted Mayan and Aztec cultural inherent towns of years ago, resulting in the use of unique techniques and utensils typical of Mesoamerican and world civilizations. celebration as a part of accent values Mexican culture, gastronomy, actors leading role each celebration, gathering, or any type of event that involves the meeting of a group of people. An example of this, the Mexican culinary, are the text of the date of the date, one of the most popular festivals, in which tortillas, tamales, and special sweet breads are never missing from the offering table. Leading ingredients coming from the fertile lands and expecting Mexican fields. Many of the foods crops they have been part of the cuisine of Mexico, even before its particular complement of flowers were considered an international wonder. In this way, to understand the grape of cuisine, it is necessary to know those essential ingredients that keep life to each dish. Meat, uh, whether as complement, side dish of leading portion, meat remains present in Mexican dishes. Pork, beef, and chicken are most common items in Mexican cuisine. Chiles. It is almost impossible to tell about Mexican culinary or without mentioning the enormous variety of chilled peppers that evolves from serrano, chipotle poblano, the famous jalapeno. Spice, strong cuisine, flowers, or hallmark of Mexican cooking. So spice like coriander, uh, cinnamon, cloves, thyme, and cumin are constantly essentials. Fruits and vegetables, they are responsible for giving Mexican food an admirant range or colors and the flowers. Among the most popular in Mexico cuisine are mango, papaya, tomato, and nopales. Core is a constantly in diet on Mexican cuisine, uh, presenting a delicious variety preparation for flour. It is usually wintery in the form of tortillas, pozole, and etc. Uh, Culture heritage of humanity. In addition to its exquisite traditional Mexican cuisine is part of the cultural heritage of humanity declared by UNESCO due to its diversity considered in art that must be preserved and respected over time. Um, in this way, in this way, we within Mexican cuisine, this heritage is honored via adaptation and reviving traditional dishes, uh, highlighting their seasoning based of current techniques. Um, economic relevance. Mm, it is estimated that the national level Mexico gastronomy is fundamental part of the economy, generating 1.7 million direct jobs. Um, Having in existence uh, 18 gastronomic routes where more than 1,000 traditional Mexican food and drinks are exhibited. Um, on the other hand, internationality in the United States, they are about 17 estimated representing the third most popular menu. Uh, little tricks, big solutions. Little tricks, big solution. Before getting to work, it is a probability good idea to point out couple of tips that every show know before venturing to Mexican culinary art. Um, One, not so heavy. The mole is a not so complex dish, but is those required your sense, so that is those no fall so heavy. It's just a matter of adding a more tortilla to elevate to consistency. Number two, keep the color. Mm, the delicious flavor of guacamole is equal to the X brickness. If you don't want to the loves it, don't worry, just add a little lemon juice and you will see how it will keep a beautiful color for a while longer. Number number three, let's spice chili. Although Mexican cuisine in spice, there are times where it's necessary to keep the tingling of the palate at bay. Deflation the chiles, so sweating in the milk sugar for a hot will reduce their spiciness. Number four, perfect beans. Um, have you wondered why Mexican beans are the most existing of alt? It's simple. You choose net to a cup epazote branch to the popular that's tasty and perfect beans in the beats Mexican style. Mexican cuisine represents fundamental component um, not only for those who live in day by day, but but what for those who have ever had the pleasure to tasting the incredibly Mexican seasons, food of traditional history and values they are never lacking in the table. of any celebrations, because food is culture and identity, but Mexican food goes further. It is love. Mm, uh, Basic pre-Hispanic ingredients: the corn. Um, we note dump, one of the examples in the diet of original peoples on Mesoamerica and the southwestern part of the is now the United States was corn. However, the delicious food surpassed the limits of time and continues to be indispensable part of the dishes, tamales, tortillas, esquites, etc. Um, Corn is a very particular food because it's not found nor worked. It survived in the wild. Um, its extent depends entirely on agricultural hands. This is due uh, to the that corn keeps sur, surrounded by leaves, Kate brags that prevent their declimate and there before their national reproductions. Due to the above, it is interesting that the native peoples uh, were were up into the domestic to although the process is now and use basic of the pre-Columbian diet. Um, un, until until now it believed that corpse is a disinterested of the site, um, and that is originally found 5 or 7 thousand years ago. Another interesting fact about these nutrition food are practical, every use from the plant and produces it as was will explain below. Use of the corn plant. Um, the corms of corn can be consumed um, when when they are tender and also when they are ripe. The tender corn can be eaten or either roasted or cooked, accompanied by some condiments. Another way is to eat in the piece, delicious accompanied to broths, soups, etc. They are also tested in wow grinds to make puzzles or salad, and in a group grapes and main ingredient in tamales, atoles, cakes and desserts. There, the drilled and shelled can be consumed toasted and the group to prepare cookies, pinoles and atolls. And also when the dry grains are nixtamalized and group, the drop is prepared to make tortillas, sope, chalupas, lacoyos, etc. The three nixtamales and ungroup grains are used to make porca. Huitlacoche is used in soups, are delicious filling for quesadillas. Um, with the hairs of the corn, you can prepare a delicious tea that it also medicinal as it helps clean the urinary tract and um, works as an aid in kindness and deliver problems. But the tender corn husks are used to wrap tamales and meats. Even the plant wasted has industrially usual fertilizer. The chiles, um, according to the national system pre-photogenic, records of food and agriculture. In Mexico, there are approximately 64 varieties of chili peppers. Among the most popular are the guajillo, chili habanero, jalapeño, serrano, piquín, mulato, etc. The use of chili peppers in Mexico goes like that of corn takes use back to the pre-Hispanic period. Really, those the native peoples love accompany of their dishes with exquisite flavored chip peppers. But they use these peppers was not the past but also tracing their temporalities. In our days, it's a food. They cannot by missing in the dishes that we taste very happy, whether it's sauces, moles, mandarins, or simple in bites. In Mexico, they are total 64 varieties of chili. Amaranth. Amaranth is also known a joy or a nahuatl, huatli, and it extends days back um, 5 5,000 or 70 years. The huitlacoche was basic ingredient for the diet of native peoples. Tamales and tortillas were prepared with the plant um, or eating and vegetable. On the other hand, with the grains of kind of gather flour was made together with maguey, honey, and ground corn. Um, Despite the passage of time, its use has survived and continues essential for Mexicans. We can't feel amaranth in the cherry products or in is with such as the famous short bars. Um, Enhance part of the importance of amaranth in your diet. In addition, flavor is due to the nutritional value in propolis use due to his high protein and lysine content and amino, amino acids necessary for the well-being of the woman. Body is the highlight recommended as food for children and pregnant women. In addition, uh, the tender leaves of this plant contain a large amount of minerals and vitamins. Mm, Typical dish that represent the syncremities uh, between pre-Spanish and European cuisines. Cochinita pibil. This dish is a typical of Yucatan. It is a possibility to trans of the original to the food of some of the celebrations of Hanal Pixant. At first, this step was based to venison, will board or present, but during the colony, the original means were replaced by pork, just like earth ovens were replaced by steam pots. Mexican food, cochinita pibil, tacos. Number 2, pozole. This dish was one of the favorites of pre-Spanish peoples. However, as happened with the cochinita pibil, the original meat that was replaced with pork. It can also be event with chicken. Um, the only difference between the cochinita and the pozole was that according to the what Fray Bernardino so Sahagont tells in his writing true story of the New Spain. The main ingredients second was human it. Mm, before before the puzzle, was made with of the bodies of men sacrificed in honor of the good simple Toxtec. Both the human means was supplied with the pork of chicken that the conquerors broke. That's it.